I don't even know how to start this review, if I'm going to be honest. I'm just sitting here trying to collect my thoughts. I'm consulting my notes in front of me that I usually have for all my reviews. And I'm just like, where do you even start? Dreamworks Animation, what a powerhouse of a studio. They've released some of the most beloved animated classics of our generation. Growing up, Shrek was a childhood staple. It kind of still is a cultural staple, to be honest. No one's really forgotten that. They have other excellent animated features, though. How to Train Your Dragon, Kung Fu Panda, even Puss In Boots, The Last Wish was my favorite film of the year last year, which was surprising because it's an animated sequel. You wouldn't have expected it to be that good, but it was borderline an animated masterpiece. So even if you don't like all of their movies, you can't deny the artistry that goes into the studio. Looking at the marketing for this film, I knew it was another DreamWorks film. Didn't really know if it was big or not because usually with DreamWorks releases, they have multiple trailers, and this had, I think, one or two. And they were not particularly strong trailers. There was not a lot of word of mouth about this movie. The marketing seemed poor in comparison to some of their other films. So I was going in thinking to myself, okay, I don't know what to expect. And it's funny going from the animated masterpiece that was Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, and then going to this, which is not a masterpiece. But it's not bad, and I will discuss.
We're still on for our tutoring session later, right?
Oh! Anything for my algebra?
You're what now?
I mean, bro! Algebro? Like, you're my brother. You're my math brother.
Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken, follows the story of a young teenager named Ruby Gillman living on land with her Kraken family. They harbor a deep, dark secret from the rest of humanity, and she must learn to harness this ability to save the world. That's all the plot summary I'm going to give you. Look at just the trailer for this film if you want the entire plot, because I'm going to get to it in a minute, but the trailer kind of spoils everything unique about this film, honestly. Let's start off with the positives first. It's a fun enough story. I'm not going to sit here and dog about how this film was formulaic yet. I'm just going to say it was a fun enough time. I had a lot of fun kind of just watching it. It's a movie you can shut your brain off and kind of enjoy on that level. Wasn't expecting much out of it, which I think is the key to enjoyment of this film. If you go in expecting really nothing, you're going to find a lot of enjoyment in this film. But if you go in expecting a masterpiece from DreamWorks like Puss in Boots, you're going to be disappointed, definitely. So temper your expectations before sitting in your seat in the movie theater. I think you will have a better time watching this film if you do. The voice cast for this film is all in. Toni Collette, Sam Richardson steal the show. Jane Fonda is fantastic. And even newcomer Lana Condor is fantastic as Ruby. She has a very strong sense of charisma to her vocal performance. She imbues a sense of life into Ruby Gillman. I think she did an excellent job. I think she was perfectly cast. She was having fun, and you could definitely tell. When a voice actor like that is having fun with their role and playing that role, it makes the audience enjoy the film on a deeper level. Let's talk about the animation, because I guess that's the thing that kind of turned me off of this film in the first place, because seeing the trailers after seeing, some of the other DreamWorks films in the past few years, like Bad Guys last year, and of course Puss in Boots, those two films had very distinct visual styles, and the animation was breathtaking in both of those films. This one, on the other hand, is not visually stunning or doing anything like different, like Puss in Boots, like kind of mimicked to the Into the Spider-Verse type animation style. This film is just like, it kind of reminded me of Luca, to be honest. Like the animation was like that from Pixar. It reminded me of like a generic Pixar type animation, which I wasn't, I'm used to it by now because that's kind of what Pixar's house formula is. I will say the animation in this film wasn't like detailed or complex, but for what it's worth, for what the film is doing, I think it suits the film perfectly. I think there were a few sequences that shine, particularly underwater. The underwater sequences are gorgeous. It's very vibrant and colorful. I thought the character designs were somewhat generic, especially on the human, characters. But other than that, I think the animation is what it is. It's decent enough. It's not really, you don't go to this film for like an animated masterpiece. Like if you want that, go see Across the Spider-Verse. I bet you it's going to be still playing when this releases on June 30th. So if you want something like that, go see that film. But this isn't bad either. I thought it was very vibrant, as I mentioned, and did its job perfectly. It's also excellent on the big screen. As mentioned, those underwater sequences really pop, and it's great in surround sound. There's a lot of loud music sequences, and the soundtrack is on point. It's very, very fun. Great needle drops all around, particularly in the final battle sequence. No spoilers, but It's very, very good. So if you see this in a theater, you're going to have a fun time with it. It's also very tight. It's only 91 minutes, which most films nowadays are like over 2 hours. So that was a very nice change of pace. It doesn't move too fast, but it doesn't move too slow. It's perfect for what the movie really is. It didn't need to go longer. It didn't need to go shorter. It kept it moving at a very tight runtime. It told the story in an effective way in that quick runtime. And it was just a nice and breezy, easy watch. It wasn't too hard to like comprehend. It wasn't complex. It was just fun. It was a fun time at the movies. Now, I'm not going to say the film is terrible all around because it's not. I just praised a lot of what this film I think does super strongly. But let's talk about it. It's formulaic. A lot of people were saying that from the trailer. I saw a lot of discussion on Twitter and online about how formulaic this looked. The story is formulaic. It's basically Teen Wolf mixed with The Little Mermaid. It's not doing anything new. It's not pushing the genre. It's not pushing boundaries. It's just a story that is kind of generic and is going to attract a younger audience, which is honestly the goal of this film. Also, the humor is really not clever. Not that DreamWorks humor usually is. I mean, some of their early 2000s work is particularly filled with kind of juvenile humor. But by DreamWorks standards, this is even lazier than what they usually go for. I thought it was not like done well. You know, some of the humor that DreamWorks does, especially in those earlier movies, is kind of juvenile, but it does work on a level that both adults and kids can kind of, you know, understand. And this one is like just straight grade school, middle school humor. In addition to being formulaic, it's also predictable. I felt that the marketing, the 2 trailers that were released, revealed basically everything that was a surprise in this movie, which is an unfortunate trend in Hollywood trailers today where they feel the need to spoil things ridiculously before the movie's even released in the trailers. This one did that in spades. If I had not seen the trailers, I kind of would have, you know, been fine. I would have probably enjoyed it more, but I was like, yeah, it's probably going to end like I saw in the trailers, which is unfortunate. It's also like not, you know, it doesn't hide anything that's going to happen. It's kind of just in your face. It's like, oh, I could have seen that coming a mile away. Not that you would expect anything different from a film like this, but if you're one of those people that don't like knowing what's going to happen before it happens, I think you're going to be disappointed because I think you're even going to be able to tell, like, yeah, that's leading to that. In conclusion, Ruby Gillman Teenage Kraken is not incredible by any means. It's also not bad. If you're looking for a fun summer movie-going experience with a tight 90-minute runtime and some very vibrant and fun animation, look no further because Ruby Gillman has that in spades. I would give Ruby Gillman Teenage Kraken a 75 out of 100. Ruby Gillman Teenage Kraken releases in theaters on June 30th. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you are new to my channel, please click the subscribe button down below, like the video, and turn on push notifications so you can get notified whenever I upload a new video to this channel. With that being said, this has been MT3. This is Mitchell signing off. Peace out.